You're listening to Hotep Ish with your host, Dewan B. Intelligent Ish Talk, intelligent shit talk, where we balance the profound with the profane. Political satire, celebrity and expert guests, information and entertainment, conversation and solutions. Leave your feelings at the door.
Thank y'all. Look, y'all, we're going to be talking about, y'all know over here, I stay on their neck, right? You know my job is to stay on their neck, right? And so every time they say something, I'm saying something. So if you one of the people that's like, you should just go ahead and ignore them. You should, why do they matter? If that's you, turn the channel. Because when it comes to the stealing of our culture, that can only happen when you let it happen. Our culture isn't stolen as much as we give it away. You dig what I'm saying? Our culture isn't stolen as much as we give it. How do we give it? We give it aggressively and passively. You have those like Chuck D, who just want to openly, who knows better. Chuck D knows better. When he won his Hall of Fame induction, he said we all come from the blues when they were questioning why hip hop belongs in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So Chuck D knows better, but now he's starting to, you know, you'll hear him starting to share for that bag, allegedly. You know, you're starting to see the people who are supposed to be the gatekeepers of our culture either sharing the lie or be loudly quiet. These niggas ain't saying shit. These niggas ain't saying shit. So we have this thing going on. So in the meantime, who is talking loud and talking a lot? People like Crazy Legs, people like Fat Joe. And so today we're going to be covering this documentary done on Amazon that I saw today. Amazon Music Hip Hop Ex Siempre, whatever the fuck, Siempre. Yeah, that's how you know I'm black. That's how you know I'm hip hop. I don't roll my R's. You can't be of hip hop culture and roll your R's, goddammit. There's no room for R rolling in hip hop. So if an R come up and you saying Rodriguez, you ain't hip hop. If you say siempre Ray. You ain't hip hop. We don't roll R's in hip hop. You dig? So we're going to get into this. The documentary I'm going to be breaking down. All right. But before I break it down, I want y'all to look at this. Oh, no, it didn't come through. How about this? Let's see here. This only applies if you're in LA, y'all. Go to Ride Ready Car Wash. These are the people that I use for my car, and I've been using for my car since the pandemic hit. Man, they prices are hella cool. They come to your house. They use their own water, and like when they wash your car, let me tell you, that shit will look brand new. All right? If you got a lot of y'all got scuff marks on your car because you don't know how to goddamn park. So if you got scuff marks on your car, let them come and buff it out. You may not need it to get painted. Just let them come and buff it out. You dig what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Now, for you niggas who can't really drive, y'all go ahead and get some body work if you got dents. But if it's like a small little dent, a little ding, they can get that out. 310-753-1947. On Instagram at ride.ready. Email ridereadynow@gmail.com or go to rideready.org. They're going to have your shit looking nice. You dig? We going to go with some different music. My man Duncan Penderhughes, you know, he does all my music. Shouts out to Duncan. Y'all know for those of you from back in the Craig Facts days, y'all be asking me where I get my music from. I get it from Duncan Penderhughes. He's the one that does it. My man Dunk. And so Dunk just blessed me with a bunch of more music. So I'm about to put some of it in as my music bed, all right? And listen to this real quick as I go close the blinds in my other room because the winds are coming through and making them blinds shackle loud than a motherfucker. And it ain't no way in hell I'm able to talk to y'all with a clear mind if I hear all this goddamn noise in my background. So let's play this music and we're going to get started in about 30 seconds. You dig? No, that's not it. That's not it. Here we go. Okay, Dunk. Yeah. I like this, Dunk. This going to be our music bed today, all right? Listen to this while I go close these goddamn blinds so all this noise can stop getting made in my house. On the hi-hat, 16 of those pushes the pocket forward, then you lay back on that snare. You see, look, Fat Joe, Crazy Legs, you can't claim hip-hop if you didn't make the music. You can't claim hip-hop if you didn't make the music. Let's start off by saying this. When we're talking about hip-hop rap, the thing that's first and foremost is the music. Everything circles and encompasses around the music. See, if we're talking to an anthropologist, they'll tell you the two most identifiable markers of a culture is its music and its food. I cracked the joke at the Hidden History Museum that a lot of people saw around the internet when I said hip hop is mac and cheese, not rice and plantains. Yes, it was a funny joke, but my punchlines have meaning behind them. That punchline had meaning behind it because music is a sonic interpretation of your day-to-day life relative to your immediate environment. And this thing we call hip-hop rap was created solely and completely and 100% out of the Black American experience. And because we're such a humane people, we allow others to share our experience. You dig? So, because of that, you now have second and third generation people of those groups that we've shared our experience with coming in and, like their Spanish conquistador ancestors, claiming ownership. Let me start off by saying this, y'all. Let me say this. All of this that we're talking about here is born out of Spanish culture. And yes, I said Spanish culture. It was somebody online earlier that was like, no, you really mean Latin culture. No, chill. I choose my words wisely. I said Spanish culture for a reason. Because the Spanish are the people that kicked the Moors out of Spain. Queen Isabella. You dig what I'm saying? Ferdinand. And when they broke out of Al-Andalus, now known as Spain, with the help of the Catholic Church, they whitewashed history. They made Moorish explorers change their names to Spanish names. So when you have people like Vicente Guerrero, second president of Mexico, who abolished slavery, the descendant of the Moors, he was black, but they whitewashed him. They whitewashed when you what's the name of that street over there off Malibu, off the 101, the original mayor of LA, the black man. I'm drawing a blank to his name. Of course we know about Pio Pico. He was black. Pico Boulevard, Los Angeles. And the through the Catholic Church, that's why if you look at I'm gonna go real deep with y'all today, right? Before I get into what these jackasses said. We're going to get deep historically, and then we're going to bring it back to now, okay? So follow me. Your history books, your textbooks, are all approved by the Vatican. Why? You got to ask yourself why. Why are the education systems for the Western world, and when I say Western world, even the Arab world, why does that all have to go through the Vatican first? What are they checking for? Why is it that we don't never hear about the Moorish Empire and their hold on these lands here in the Americas? These are the people that the Anglo-Saxon European, better known as the British, whatever, white folks that we deal with, the WASP, they learned from the Spanish how to whitewash history. How to whitewash culture. The conquistadors, they were named that for a reason. They not only take your land, they take your identity too. Down to the point that white identifying Latinos take credit from and take opportunity from dark Latinos. This whole social hierarchy that we deal with here in America Oh, hold on, the music stopped. This whole social hierarchy that we deal with in America was first put in by the Spanish white supremacists. Later on, the French, and then the Anglo-Saxon, the one we're dealing with. So this is a pathology. Color-coded racism is rooted in Latin culture, given to them by the Spanish. The lights rule over the darks. So the reason why we're having this discussion today isn't because of anything hate, but it's because of the class of people that are telling these stories. A history of a group of people who have a history of whitewashing, not only ancient history, but current, present day history of the people where they're from that happen to be dark-skinned. The dark-skinned Latinos deal with the same erasure that Fat Joe and these guys are trying to put on Black America. We're dealing with a group of people who culturally, they don't share. Let me break this out there for you coon niggas who like, man, it don't matter. We just, man, they was there. Brother, my brother. Let's take this back to when you was 5, a child. You had your G.I. Joe. You knew if you shared your G.I. Joe with Eric was going to share his, if you had your G.I. Joe, Eric would share his helicopter with you, G.I. Joe helicopter, and y'all could exchange toys. You knew if you was with Mark was going to share his Ninja Turtle van with you. But you knew when you dealt with Felipe didn't share. You let him borrow your toys, but he would never have toys to share back with you. And then when you look up, Felipe got 3 or 4 of your G.I. Joes. And every time you talk to Felipe, oh yeah, I'm going to bring it back. And then Felipe's mama move. You learn something. I can share with Eric. I can share with Marcus. But I can't share with Felipe. Because every time I share something with Felipe, he take it. Is that simple enough for y'all? You can't share with everybody. Because everybody's intentions aren't to share with you. Some people come over as your friend to hang out and have a good time. Whatever it takes to get in your good graces. You might very well be there to share and commune with this person. But they're not there to share with you. That's the point of view that I'm coming from, okay? This is the point of view that I'm coming from as I discuss this documentary, this little mini documentary that you saw on Amazon. Let me see here. I'm not going to play the video because I don't want to get any kind of copyright strike. I'll play it in the background as I talk. I just put the link in the chat. So mods, can you copy that link, please, and reshare it? And when the video's over with, can I please ask somebody, can I trust somebody to please, when the video's over with, put that video in the comment section so I can pin it to the top, please? That'd be a big help if one of y'all did that for me. And just let y'all know, if I go a little long, I might have to pause it and play some music for a few minutes because I got a new tenant that I forgot to have sign something, and they gotta sign a piece of paperwork. And business is always first. But I think I'll be done before that person gets here. So, but if I'm not, I will be taking a break at some point to get this paperwork signed, because you dig what I'm saying. Business is always first. All right. So we're about getting into it. With that said, I want to thank everybody here for coming. I want to thank the mods for coming in. I want y'all to know that, hey, I got my documentary coming. The crowdfunding is coming soon. When I put it up there, put something to the side for me, y'all. Because if y'all want this documentary to be right, I'm going to need your help. I'm going to have to zigzag all across this country to get the shots that I need. I renamed it a little bit, but putting it just right back on brand message with my brand. It's bigger than hip hop. The Black American Music Family Tree. It's bigger than hip hop. The Black American Music Family Tree. We going in on these folks, y'all. We going in on these folks. It's good to do it on YouTube, but we got to get this all the way out there for the masses. We got to get this all the way out there for the masses. You dig? And you can help me raise some funds for that by getting the t-shirt right now. I have it at an introductory target. The price is about to go up, but at an introductory price right now, $39.99. Support the cause. It's bigger than hip hop. The Black American Music Family Tree. Get your t-shirts right now at DeWanB.com. DeWanB.com, because this documentary, yo. We all see the pilot? Man. We all see the pilot? When y'all see the pilot, soon and very soon, you're gonna see the pilot. Soon and very soon, you're gonna see the pilot. I don't know what the fuck. Yeah. So let me see here. I might be able to show y'all something here. Hold on. Okay. Y'all want to see where we going with it? Mind you, I filmed this a lot. It's funny. It's going to be funny releasing this shit because I filmed this shit like 50 pounds ago. I filmed this shit 50 pounds ago. But this is where we going with it, y'all.
Every element that happened that day, the graffiti, the dance, the style of dress, all of these things existed. The DJing, the clowning, or some people call it toasting. All of these were elements in Black music and Black culture that already existed. It seems to be as if they're trying to make hip hop something that's separate from Black culture.
That's where we going with it, y'all. That's the goddamn level of production I'm bringing to y'all. All right? That's the level of production I'm bringing to y'all, okay? The full pilot's going to drop pretty soon, all right? Yeah, Hula Gang, that was 50 pounds ago. I got 50 more pounds to go. I could be a rapper. That was 50 pounds ago. I got 50 more pounds to go. So let's get into this disrespectful pilot. I'm not pilot. No, disrespectful documentary from Amazon. All right. Y'all like that? Chat room, y'all like that? Y'all like that? I'm not fucking around. I'm not fucking around. All right? So, yes, Mama Mysterious, they messed with the wrong one. I've been studying music history my whole life for personal reasons. I never planned on doing podcasting on this shit. Never planned on doing a documentary. All I want to do is play my music and use my music as medicine to heal me from a fucked up day. You know? All I want to do is use my medicine and music as a means and to get away and escape from what's going on, from the stresses of the day to day. That's all I want. And I want the people who created the music to get their proper respect. This documentary is not about me. It's about getting respect. And I have some dope people lined up to be in the documentary. And my doc is not going to just be me. It's going to be of course, Dr. Short's going to be in it. You know I'm going to have Dr. Randy Short in my documentary. You know that, right? I got some big name celebrities that have said, give me verbal commitments to yes. I have some of your favorite musicians that you've never heard of. You've heard them, the songs that they wrote. You've heard them play on a lot of these songs that you listen to. So I have some of them on there. I also got some musicians that you have heard of on the documentary. I got some college professors lined up because we gonna go anthropological with this, yo. We backing up what the fuck we talk about. We're not gonna say we was standing next to a DJ and that's the reason why this is our culture. No. We taking this all the way down, right? So it's gonna be some of your favorite. Oh, and I'm also tying in stand-up comedy to it. So some of your favorite comedians are gonna be in there too. Some of your favorite comedians are gonna be on this when I bring in the comedy element. All right. So that's what we're here to do. All right. That's what we're here to do. It's bigger than hip hop. The Black American music family tree. So my documentary is coming to the big screen, yo. My family tree. Y'all get my family tree also at DewanB.com, telling you the roots of our music, where it comes from. And as you see here, and this is what we're talking about, hip hop is one of the newer branches of the tree of life of music that the Black American has given the world. We gave you guys rock and roll. You dig what I'm saying? We gave you disco and standards and EDM and dancehall. Yes, we gave you that too. We gave you hyphy. We gave you Chicano rap. We gave you blues rock and Brit pop. We gave you rockabilly blues. We gave you Brazilian house music. We gave you go-go and funk. And with all of that music that we gave, hip hop took a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Sampled a little bit of disco with a little bit of funk. Sampled a few Ahmad Jamal piano lines and a few Fred Wesley horn lines. Hip hop is a mixture of Black American culture. It is an extension. It is a branch. So while people are talking about roots in hip hop has no root on its own. Hip hop is a branch on a tree. If you want to get to the roots of hip hop, you have to go down through the funk. You got to go down through Motown, down through disco, down through rock and roll, down through jazz, down through rhythm and blues, and down through the blues. You got to understand stand-up comedy and how stand-up comedy was created in the same juke joints as the blues and jazz and spoken word, which is born out of syncopated dance music, rural slave folk spirituals, and arranged quartets by the free blacks that existed on this land here in North America in the 1700s. If you don't understand that, don't talk to me about no goddamn hip-hop. We got these vultures trying to make our music seem as if it started a couple decades ago, and this massive culture that we've created just came out of nowhere. Hell no. So let's get in to what these jackasses are talking about. And yeah. Let me go back to the beginning. I got some notes on where places I want to stop. I'm going to go on here to the exact beginning, okay? We're going to start at the beginning of this disrespectful documentary. And then we're going to go from there, okay? I'm looking for it. So this is the documentary, Amazon Music, Hip Hop X Siempre. Siempre, nigga. Ain't no siempre. I don't even know what siempre means. Hey, one of you Spanish-speaking niggas in the chat room, tell me what siempre means. Please, chat room. Somebody, I don't got time to Google Translate right now. Somebody tell me what the fuck siempre means. Somebody hit thumbs down. Yeah, thumbs down, nigga. I'm not going to roll my R's. No. All right, here we go. Can y'all hear? No, y'all can't hear. No, let me see.
Poder de la palabra.
Can y'all hear that?
Grandísimo.
Can y'all hear that? Okay, cool. I'm going to go back to the beginning. This is the intro, and just listen to what they're saying, all right?
Hip-hop's a natural resource of the United States.
El poder de la palabra es grandísimo.
That was Fat Joe saying hip-hop is a natural resource of the United States. Off top, with the first words in this documentary, there's no acknowledgement of who produced the resource. It is a natural resource of the United States. Yes, it is. Who makes it? Who are the people that make the music? Off top, it others your black ass. This is what I mean when I say they don't come to be your friend. They come to take. And this goes to you coon-ass rappers out there who are staying quiet. You think they're going to know who you are in 20 years? Hell, you think they know who you are now? You got rappers that rap Fat Joe couldn't lick they nuts. And they making Fat Joe seem as if he was like a relevant thing in the 90s. Fat Joe had a couple hot songs. Thank you, Big Pun. But if Fat Joe's one or two songs never made, you could throw his ass in a trash can of history and hip-hop doesn't miss a beat. They got, these motherfuckers got kids thinking that Fat Joe was as big as DMX or something. So let's keep going.
Music with a purpose.
So you asked me earlier, what does hip hop mean to me?
Hip hop was right out the window in the South Bronx. We call it the CNN of the streets.
What hip hop means to me, I mean that's hard to say because it's given me everything.
It was just a way of life. Hip hop es un movimiento, es una comunidad.
Términos hip hop caben muchas palabras. La primera que me llega a la mente es cultura.
Es libertad. It was a rebellious act to listen to it.
Es mi vida.
It was a rebellious act to listen to hip hop. So, off top, this is the intro. They're getting people to explain hip hop. Let's keep going.
Unprecedented.
It looked like it was a war zone.
The streets were angry. There was a lot of aggression.
There was no hope.
Everything on the West Coast just go.
So, that's them talking about the conditions hip hop are born in. Still no mention of black people. Still no mention of the music that is a soundtrack known as hip hop. No mention. Meaning the forefathers, none of that. They come in off the bat, not acknowledging your black ass. Off top. We're not even a minute into this motherfucker. They telling you all this groundwork foundation about hip hop, where hip hop comes from, without ever mentioning black Americans. And y'all expect me to shut up and not address this shit? Y'all expect me not to address this? What? Do y'all think Amazon Music is handing out strikes? Because this is on Amazon Music's, this is what I'm watching right here. This is it. It's on Amazon Music. So, look at how Fat Joe is dressed. That's not how Latinos dress. That's not how Latinos. Do Latinos wear their beards like that? You didn't bring none of that from Latin America to the culture. Matter of fact, you dressing like it's still goddamn 1997. God damn. You know what I mean? So, this is what we're dealing with right here. He literally sitting, got his beard cut like a black man, dressed like a black man, talk like a black man, but he's telling you Latino is a contributed to the influence in hip hop. That's funny, ain't it? That's funny as hell. So let's keep going in this documentary. Let's see what more lies these niggas talk about.
When I saw that movie in 1982 with Wild Style, I saw Ruby D. He said this line specifically: Ruby D is my name and I'm a Puerto Rican. You might think I'm black by the way I'm speaking. And when I heard that, I said, this is for us.
You see that colonizer mindset right there? He said, you might think I'm black, but I'm Puerto Rican. He goes from, all right, cool, I can do this, I can play a part of it, to this is for us. Am I bullshit? Hey, chat room, am I bullshitting? Excuse me, I don't know this dude's name. I'm going to show you his picture. I can find out, but I just don't care. I just don't care. Him right here. This cat right here. This cat right here. Let's see this. Let's just play this part again.
D. He said this line specifically: Ruby D is my name and I'm a Puerto Rican. You might think I'm black by the way I'm speaking. And when I heard that, I said, this is for us.
How you go from I can participate to this is for us? Let's keep going.
This is it. This is for us.
Latino's contribution to hip hop, it's always comes controversy when I say it. I don't know. There's some new thing going on, right?
He said some new thing going on. Fat Joe said it comes controversy when he said it's some new thing. No, the new thing is you saying Latino hip hop is Latino.
Some call us guests, whatever you want to call it, but either way, we were there in the beginnings.
Like, how can we be guests? It's something we help build.
But
Is Nori? Hold on. And I like Drink Champs every now and again. I hate the loud ass cowbells. And every time somebody's ready to make a good point, he cut him off to ask a stupid ass question. Other than that, Drink Champs is cool. But listen to this short bus shit here again real quick.
How can we be guests? It's something we help build.
But there's some new thing going on, right?
Some call us guests, whatever you want to call it, but either way, we were there in the beginnings.
Like, how?
You were there. So what? So what? You weren't the one making the music or bringing anything new. You just was standing there. That doesn't mean anything. That's why you're guests. Guests were there. Look, I've been to the Playboy Mansion. I went to a dope ass party at the Playboy Mansion. I had fun at the Playboy Mansion when I went to that party. No, I didn't get in the grotto. I didn't do all that. But I did see titties and volleyball. You dig? And it was quite a sight to see. I've been a guest at the Playboy Mansion. I was there. I saw Hugh Hefner. It don't mean I built the empire. It don't mean I'm a part of the Playboy Club. It just means I was at the Playboy Mansion for a fucking party, and that's all it means. And you got Nori here trying to play stupid. Is he playing?
How can we be guests? It's something we help build.
But Latinos and blacks created hip hop music.
He said Latinos and blacks created hip hop music. Notice this. They said Latinos and blacks created hip hop music. But they didn't give you a song that a Latino created in the 70s. In the 80s, matter of fact. White people created some good jazz music. Dave Brubeck, Take 5, the highest selling jazz songs in history. Take 5 by Dave Brubeck. Caribbean descent, Canadian-born Oscar Peterson made some great jazz music. It doesn't mean that Dave Brubeck or Oscar Peterson created jazz. They don't even have the decency to tell you in this documentary who created it. They're just saying, we created it, and believe me, because I'm Fat Joe. Let's go to this part right here.
Voice in Colombia. There was no voice. Like, it was all Puerto Rico. And I'm not even saying that because I'm Puerto Rican. Like, it's the truth. That's why I'm saying music is a very beautiful place right now. You got at least 6-7 superstars in Colombia. You got another 6-7 in Argentina. You got another 6-7 in Mexico.
Notice this? And this is the future riff that's coming. They didn't mention Jamaica. Busta Rhymes. They did not mention Jamaica. You notice that? Fair use, Amazon. Fair use. Fair use. But they did not use Jamaica. They didn't talk about Jamaica. And that's where you see this is going. On one end, you got Busta Rhymes saying hip hop is Jamaican. Another again, you got Fat Joe saying it's Latino. And they're saying specifically Puerto Rican. And the Puerto Rican mentions Argentina, Colombia, and Mexico. But he doesn't mention Jamaica. See, this is where this is going. The white supremacists know this. The white supremacists know if he can get Busta Rhymes and Fat Joe to get their simple asses out there and claim hip hop, what's going to happen if, and it's not going to happen, they're not going to be successful with this narrative. They're going to be just as successful as they were with jazz. Everybody's going to still know it's black. Black American specifically. But just say in some imaginary world they won the rhetorical battle. Fat Joe and Busta Rhymes win the rhetorical battle. Hip-hop is now Caribbean and Jamaican. What do you think is going to happen next? An all-out war between Caribbeans and Jamaicans, a rhetorical war, because those are two islands that don't get along. Don't get along at all. Jamaica was first conquered by the Spanish and then later reconquered by the British. But what's coming next, if they were to win, which they're not, it's just going to be an inner fight. And what's going to happen when they're done inner fighting? The white supremacists are going to come along and be like, Eminem is the founder of rap and Rick Rubin is the person that made it happen. And rap is going to be white because they know at some point the Jamaicans and the Puerto Ricans are going to start to fight each other like they always fucking do. And the reason why they'll fight and give it up is because they have no real ties to our culture anyway. They're just there for fun. They have no real ties to the culture of hip hop other than it just being fun. So that's where it's going. Now let's go a little further. A little further. I'm going to go here and I'm going to take it off the screen just in case so they don't fucking give me no goddamn strike. Let's take this a little further. Let me hit play.
When you go to Joe Kanzo, the first photographer in hip hop, and he takes pictures of the audience, is half Latino.
Look at this. Fat Joe said, Fat Joe, he loves bringing up this. I've heard him mention Joe Kanzo a few times. Before Fat Joe ever mentioned Joe Kanzo, I had never heard of Joe Kanzo, nor had I ever seen a Joe Kanzo picture before Fat Joe made them. So how can you be an essential component of hip hop when I've never seen your pictures and I still understand hip hop? And Fat Joe said, when you look at Joe Kanzo's photos, half of the pictures there are half black and Latino. And this is the picture they use, folks. This isn't the photo that I Googled. This is the photo that their production team decided was the best photo for this scene, where Fat Joe says in Joe Kanzo's photos, it was half black and Latino. Well, I see one Latino in the picture. I don't know what she is. Maybe, is she? Let me see. Is she? Now, she look light-skinned black, but maybe these chicks, are they? Maybe these three Latino, maybe? You know that's a sister. Look at this nigga. He used to play basketball for the ABA right here. This nigga look like a Harlem Globetrotter nigga over here. So we got 2, possibly 3 Latinos. You got Joe Kanzo. But Fat Joe said the pictures are half Latino. Can y'all count any? I count 1 nigga, 2 nigga, 3 nigga, 4 nigga, 5 nigga, 6 nigga, 7 nigga, 8 nigga, 9 nigga, 10 nigga, 11 nigga, 13 nigga, 14 nigga, 15 nigga. Whew. Count a lot of niggas. I count potentially 3, 4 Latinos. This motherfucker Fat Joe lie to your goddamn face. How can you trust somebody that lie to you that blatantly? Like, bruh. We seen the pictures, bruh. We've seen the pictures. All right, let me see here. Let's do this. Let's call, wait, hold on. All right, I'm on Joe Kanzo's website. Let's call his Huckleberry. Let's go to Joe Kanzo's photos. These are Joe Kanzo's photos. This is Joe Kanzo's website. Let's see if half the photos are of Latinos. Well, I don't know what the fuck she doing there. Oh, that's back when Janelle Monáe used to actually cover her body. Nah, that's not working out. Let's go to images. Joe Kanzo photos. Not photos of Joe Kanzo. Let's go to the Instagram page. Let's go to the Instagram page. Oh, these are current. Okay. These are photos back in the day. I don't know who the fuck these people is, but nah, this ain't a good one. Oh, here's Joe Kanzo photo. Okay. From back in the day. This is a Joe Kanzo photo. Let's see if it's half Latinos in here. We got the photos, Joe. You told me, see, when I do my documentary, you're going to be able to look up what I said. And when you look up what I said in my documentary coming up, you're going to find something. DJ Kool Herc with friends at Bronx, New York. Okay, then. All right. Fat Joe said his photos have half Latinos. Does that look like half Latinos to you? This is Joe Kanzo's Instagram, yo. Does that look half Latino? Let's keep going. And there go some more old school pictures. Okay. Oh, Red Bull. This is new. They trying to black and white this. There wasn't no goddamn Red Bull in 1976. This shit was taken in 2019. Get the fuck out of here. Let me go to something more recent. See, look, this is a color version of the same thing. Okay, let me see here. Any more Joe Kanzo photos from back in the day? Okay. Crazy legs. Okay. They superimposed Fat Joe right here. What the fuck is this? So are they literally superimposing Latinos? Why is Fat Joe in this picture? What the fuck? These motherfuckers really trying to superimpose themselves on our shit, ain't they? God damn. Okay, nigga. Okay. All right, so based on what Fat Joe said about half Latinos being in Joe Kanzo's photos, according to Joe Kanzo's Instagram itself and the photos he has up from back in the day, okay, I see maybe one Latino right here. Okay. So basically, we've determined in this short amount of time that Fat Joe is a motherfucking liar. We've already figured that out, but let's keep going, shall we? This one said, fast forward. Okay, I got my last example, 1322.
Crazy Legs and the Rocksteady crew, they were doing that thing.
First time you ever see breakdancing, you're gonna see it with Rocksteady crew.
All right, I fell.
All right, go back to this. He said the first time you're going to see the breakdancing, you're going to see the Rocksteady crew. Look at this. He said Normsky, 80s b-boy legend and educator. See, that's the best part about it. This dude is an educator, yo. He said the first time you're going to see b-boying is in the Rocksteady crew. The Rocksteady crew came around in the 80s. B-boying was a dance of the 1970s. What are y'all talking about? B-boying was a dance of the 70s. It was a dance of the 70s. Go back and watch. No, not my documentary. Not mine. It was another one I had up. Damn it. It was another documentary I had up. But compare that bullshit to what I'm giving you in my documentary. Compare that shit to this right here. Listen, this is me and this is my pilot. Look at this. Look at this.
So you see here in the tree, I have the roots. You have rural spirituals.
You know I love everybody deep down in my heart, Lord. You know I love everybody deep down in my heart, Lord. You know I love everybody deep down in my heart. Amen. Amen.
See that?
Amen.
Because even during the 1600s and 1700s, you had enslaved black people, but you also had black people who weren't enslaved. That's a story that America don't like telling. Every single black person wasn't enslaved, but every single black person, whether free or not enslaved, they still were under the harassment of the laws of the 13 colonies in America. So they were still under some form of imprisonment, but it wasn't all the time just on the plantations. So you had your rural spirituals.
See, in my documentary, I'm giving references, music references, cultural references.
He'd be playing, cracking jokes, and
listen to this.
You know, he integrated comedy, and he even integrated comedy in the way he played. When he played the piano, he'd do all kind of funny strokes, and he'd have a cigar in his mouth. You know what I mean? He'd be playing, cracking jokes, and You know, so it shows that our music and our comedy have always gone hand in hand.
See? Compare what this now look. Imagine if I had Amazon's budget. When I make a claim in my documentary, I'm not saying believe me because I'm Fat DeWan. I'm saying here's the evidence, nigga. Now go look it up. Do you see the difference? Do you see the difference between someone who respects his audience and a bunch of lying, cultural, vulturing ass thieves? You see the difference? So they lying to us. They lying to us. They're trying to take our history right in front of our face. And support the movement, man. I got my t-shirts. I got men and women sizes. I also got my limited edition Black American Freedman shirt. But it's bigger than hip hop. All orders over 75 get free shipping. All the different colors. Get it right now. Women, sorry fellas, but the women get more of a color selection than you. Because women look good. You niggas is ugly. So I'll give you niggas 6 different colors. The ladies, y'all got as many colors as y'all want. Y'all got as many colors as you want. It's bigger than hip hop. The Black American Music Family Tree. This is where we going with it, yo. This is where we going with it, yo. So we're dealing with an assault on our history. We're dealing with a group of people that's trying to put their face on our creations. And the reason why this is so egregious, another reason why it's so egregious is, you know, as Black Americans, we're under constant siege with our history. We're always having to deal with this shit. We dealt with it when the Italians came over and tried to say that they were the ones that gave us jazz. We deal with, jazz. We deal with the whole New Orleans thing. They tell the same story of New Orleans jazz as they do with New York hip hop. Oh, jazz came about because of the intermingling of cultures in New Orleans. Black people were always kept separate from everybody else. People, dude, this is the land of segregation. Black people over there, white people and everyone else over there. Black people don't mingle with other groups until we good. You're not learning. Black people aren't learning their instrument and learning their craft in bands. There are no multicultural bands running around here. There's no multicultural shit in the stages of you learning. Now, once you're good and you've grinded and you created a product worth selling, now other groups come to consume what you have to offer. Other groups come to maybe join in and play off your greatness. But the whole time we've been in this country, think about this shit, Black people. The whole time we've been in this country, we've had to deal with a country that kicks us off to the side, plays us to the left, plays us to the right. Black people, you're just this. Black people, just this. Oh no, you're the worst. You're always playing us to the side. But then the minute we create something beautiful and good, it's all of ours. I'm on these niggas' necks. They're not gonna be able to tell these lies with DeJuan motherfucking Brown walking around town. Fat Joe, you silly ass clown. Rhyme and rhythm, you dig? Listen to this shit right here. This is their conclusion.
General. 50 years of hip hop, it'll stick around forever.
I think hip hop has lasted 50 years and will continue to last because representation is so important.
They didn't say, she didn't say because still no acknowledgement of black people. Hip hop will last because representation is important.
50 years of hip hop that's a long time, and I'm pretty sure there's gonna be another 50 years.
I'm an advocate for hip hop till the day they put me in the ground.
It's gonna keep growing, it's gonna keep getting better. I see the future just getting even more better and more inclusive and more representative of who we are. Es libertad.
More inclusive and more representative of who you are. Still, no acknowledgement of mommy and daddy.
Yo creo que de ahí parte todo y nace el hip hop.
Hip hop means to me lifestyle.
But I truly do respect, the genre, and I know what it's done for me and for thousands of people.
Hip hop es un movimiento. Para mí es algo mágico.
Uno de los mejores regalos que va a tener mi hijo es saber lo que es el hip hop, conocerlo de cerca, verlo, ver la magia.
Es el número que digo que más representa la calle.
Hip hop is everything to me. You know what I'm saying? It's my life, it's my DNA, it's my soul. I gave my life to hip hop.
Fat Joe said he gave his life. No, hip hop gave you a life, Fat Joe. And still, in that whole, y'all go back and watch it on Amazon, in that whole documentary, they never said thank you to black people. They never acknowledged the black people that they learned the game from. To you Jamaican patois speaking ass, bumbleclot ass niggas, they definitely didn't acknowledge y'all. They didn't say blood clot one goddamn time. They did not mention the Jamaican influence. They mentioned the Argentina and Colombian influence, but not the Jamaican. These jokers can't even get their story straight. They can't even get the story straight. So this is what we dealing with, black people. Y'all ready to fight? Y'all ready to fight and maintain ownership of what you got? Or are you gonna give it away like hoes? What you gonna do? What you gonna do, brother? Call me. I'm gonna keep my phone lines open up real quick. I said, okay, if somebody calls in the first minute or two, I'll answer it. Then nobody call in a minute, I'm about to turn this shit off. 323-744-7425. What do you think about this assault on our black music? Let me turn my music back on. Hold on. Where's my music? 744-7425. Let me see here. Where's my music? Here we go. There we go. Hey, Fat Joe. Was that created in Colombia, nigga? What's up, Carl? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey there, Brother DeJuan B. This is Sister Miriam calling from East St. Louis, Illinois.
Sister Miriam, how's it going?
It's going lovely, my beloved. I just had to call in. This atrocity that we're seeing taking place with the Spaniard-speaking, Hispanic, Latino, all the Spanish-speaking people, is just a disgrace. They know better, especially Fat Joe. He's really riding this lie. This is what he's gonna go to the lie, or the what they say when you just do something until you carry it to your last days.
Yeah.
So this is cross he's willing to bear. He's willing to die on that hill for this lie, and knowing that they, just because you were present, that's just like me telling you to come to my house at my cookout, and I done bought all the food, and you're just standing there waiting for a plate, but then you want to say that you bought everything and this is your house and everything else. And then that word siempre simply means always, and then you look at the whole statement, it's simply saying
hip-hop
X stands for Latin, so it's saying Latin always. So they pretty much saying they always have been there in the beginning, which is a whole flat-out lie. They better go on somewhere and toast some more tortillas and eat some beans and have a good fort.
Get that shit out of here. I appreciate you, Sister Miriam.
Indeed. Always, brother. Peace.
All right, have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
The phone lines are going crazy. Call in. Oh, shit. Let me hit answer before it goes away. I can see a 202. Is that DC calling in? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Donnie from DC, man.
Yes, sir. What's all you mind, brother?
Hey, look, you speaking number facts, right? But I know one thing for sure. None of them New York dudes, all them Wu-Tang, the Locks, everybody from Queensbridge, all them FBA dudes up there don't say nothing about this. So how how we going to really get, you put it out there, you, Flex, all them, they put it out there. But if, the main people from there don't say nothing, how you really going to get that, you know what I'm saying?
And that's, brother, I'm going to let you finish your point, but you hit on something real good. That's why I don't fuck with, and this I make it very clear, because a lot of people be like, a lot of my listeners be like, oh, DeJuan's just hating on New York. Oh, DeJuan's just hating on New York. Let me make something very clear to the listeners out there who say stuff like that. This is why I don't fuck with New York. Because New York tried to make our music, our cultural lineage, our cultural music, theirs. New Orleans didn't do that with jazz. Philadelphia didn't do that with neo soul. LA didn't do it with disco. Detroit didn't do it with doo-wop. Every major hub where black people live has created something that's still in existence to this day. The Seattle black folks didn't do it with heavy metal. The Memphis folks didn't do it with blues. But the minute it's New York's turn to create something, just your turn, one of many black cities that created some dope shit, you want to act like you the end all be all of everything. So now, because a lot of hip hoppers don't like to learn anything that happened before 1973, and while at the same time, every fucking thing that they sampled happened in the 70s and before. If you're going to sample the music, shouldn't your dumb ass at least learn about it? But no, because they want to make it a New York thing. And because of that, these simps are sitting at home, quiet as fuck, watching this Fat Joe do this, but they have more of an allegiance to New York and that bullshit ass history that they created than who we are greater as a culture, as a people.
That's a fact, man. You know what I know it's about them? Just I don't want to get a tangent about New York, but they so much about themselves. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's your own little race up there. Nah. You black, they Jamaican, they, you know what I'm saying? They whatever, he Colombian, Puerto Rican, but it's so they put on a Yankee cap and they feel as one for some reason or another, man. But but hey, DeJuan, I appreciate you. I mess with you. And look, man, before I get out of here, go with some good music, man. I know you don't like it that much.
I don't fuck with go-go, but man. I fucks with you. I fucks with you, but I don't fuck with go-go. All right, brother.
All right, homie, appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. 818, call back. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
The average black guy from L.A. What's up, man?
Oh, what up, brother?
How you doing?
Yes, sir. I'm good, man. What's on your mind, man?
Well, obviously, I'm loving the topic. And it needs to be talked about, it needs to be brought up. I hope that what Fat Joe is doing, this is the hill that he dies on. We have to make sure as Black Americans, that's the hill that he dies on. Because you don't get to just erase us and claim something for yourself. If we came in and started talking about all the ways that we inspired their culture, claimed reggaeton and all types of stuff, they'd be incredibly mad about it. They would stand up. But like you said, in New York, a lot of them have more allegiance to New York. And so they're allowing this to happen. And of course, when you look at the demographics that are changing, it's becoming a problem because these people feel like they're hearing something on their radio stations. They've lived there for 20 years, so therefore it must belong to them. And we have to show them that we can tell them that this is our music. We created it. And not only that, but it predates 1973. That's like a made-up arbitrary date that totally erases everything that went into the elements of hip-hop as a culture and definitely what went into hip-hop as a music. All the music from around the country and rapping on record is something that's happened for decades before 1973. So that needs to be woken up too before, this sloppy white Hispanic racist, by the way, gets up in there calling us the N-word, talking about how they created something. It's incredibly arrogant and foolish. And then when you juxtapose what they're doing right now, trying to erase us, and then in Florida trying to ask us for our help with this whole, E-Verify thing, it's really quite hilarious.
You real talk, man. It's real talk. It's like and it's something I want to point out on my Black American music family tree. You see where I have rap? Because rap was something that we started to see become more popular when you get into jazz, in the jazz vocal. It's in the jazz vocal area. Rap and scat were two things we saw appear around the same time. Louis Armstrong was scatting, and he also rapped. Pops has a song rapping in 1949, and then Ella Fitzgerald and those they brought in. They really popularized scat, but all that stuff, all things mixed within jazz, long before we get to hip hop.
Absolutely.
All right, man. But man, thanks for calling, brother.
Absolutely. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Yeah, keep calling in, folks. I can only take one call at a time. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's going on? This is Native Josh Smith.
Yes, sir. Josh Smith. What's going on?
I just wanted to say, we got this term in hip hop right now where everybody like to say, we doing it for the culture. This is for the culture. But right now, we got a lot of people that's not speaking up for the culture.
Right.
We got a lot of people still in our culture, and they being silent for the bad, quote unquote. So that's all I really wanted to touch on. If we're gonna do it for the culture, let's really do it for the culture, and let's make it more than a tagline.
Real talk, man. Appreciate you for calling in.
No doubt.
He makes a good point. He makes a really good point. If you're gonna do it for the culture, do it for the culture then, nigga. Tired of these artists, man. They capitalize off hip hop, all these black artists. Like, where are these people? Where's like the South got something to say? Say something, niggas. Kendrick, where you at? Snoop. We need you. Chuck D it seems like he done sold all the way out. Where KRS-One at? Where are the people? Can I get at least 150? Can I at least get 15% of Wu-Tang to say something? If we could just get 15%, a Ghostface, somebody to say something. Where the fuck is you niggas at? What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, hello. This is Kevin. I'm calling in from Florida. First of all, thanks for what it is you're doing. I'm a historian, but in the other sense, that I look at history. But I'm glad that you're focusing on music. And one of the things that Black people need to do is, first of all, as we're creating things, whether it's an invention, music, or anything else, we need to record it and actually document it. So that way, there's no question about who did what. Because it's all about who gets there first and who does what first. And luckily for us, as it relates to hip hop and everything else, there's, levels of documentation along the way. So that way it can be actually proven. But this is a lesson for us as it relates to this. And it's just more emphasis on what it is we need to do as a collective as far as documenting our work. Because, 100 years from now, if this doesn't get corrected, it'll be Eminem. He's a creator somehow. You know what I'm saying?
Right. If they can keep moving the timeline around from 75 to 73 to 77 to 83, it's going to be nothing for them to move up to 1999, right?
Absolutely, because when they talk about the King of Rock and Roll, they're talking about Elvis. But then even though we know Little Richard and people like Chuck Berry and all of them were up in the mix and actually did all of the work and laid the groundwork and the foundation. And it's very interesting because remember when all of this music first came out, everybody was hating on it.
Everybody.
Nobody wanted to be a part of it. It was supposed to be a fad, right? Remember all of that?
Yep.
See, and I know all this stuff is going to be in your documentary and everything, and I know other people are doing other documentaries in order to support and reinforce this, but this is something that's very important. And a black man asked me, well, why does it matter? I'm like, because, this is like the first step or one of the first things they do when they start trying to erase you as a group. That's really all it is.
And on top of that, you're a historian. Music is a sonic interpretation of moments in time. So we can interpret times through music, and because I love history. A lot of the best history that I got when it comes just to American history or history has come through music documentaries. Because sometimes when you watch a music documentary, especially if a white person does a music documentary, they'll be a little more liberal about what white folks was doing to black folks at that time when the music came out than they would in a straight up history documentary. You can sometimes learn a little bit more about history through music documentaries, and
a lot of our music was actually born out of the soundtrack of essentially what was going on at the time.
Right.
Even hip hop was born out of an element of hip hop is actually part of it is activism.
Yeah. When you're looking at history documentaries of the 20s, you're listening to ragtime, and so that's just how it goes, man. But I appreciate you for calling in.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for what you're doing and what other people are doing, especially you musical specialists. But thank you. We appreciate you.
Uh-huh. Yeah, y'all. And with my documentary, look, let me tell y'all something. My documentary ain't stepping on nobody else's feet. All right? I got my own point of view that's coming from a field that ain't nobody out there fucking with. Because there are a lot of documentaries out there on hip hop. And I encourage you to watch those documentaries on hip hop. But this documentary is called It's Bigger Than Hip Hop. Because I'm pointing out the fact that hip hop is an extension, not a root. And I'm probably going to spend the least amount out of all the time that I spend in music history, I'm going to have you guys watch straight up hip hop documentaries for deep knowledge into hip hop. Everybody's focused on hip hop. This documentary is focused on the music that made hip hop, the culture that hip hop is born out of. It's bigger than hip hop. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm calling from Richmond, California. This is I got YouTube, MDT Sports, but man, I like your show, man. But what you talking about, that's real, man. And I'm young, so I'm like 26, and I looked up the history of like who created hip hop, and Black Americans did create hip hop. Like you can see it through like breakdancing in like 1940s, and like the music they was rapping gospel in like the 20s or something.
Yeah.
And man, I know the history. They're really lying. That's messed up how they disrespecting our ancestors. It's wrong.
And remember, the point is to get your generation, to get you guys to think that somebody else did it, so then you can teach your children that somebody else did it.
Yeah,
that's the point.
Yeah, I sure will.
So yeah, you are the resistance, man. You're who they're targeting. All right. So just keep strong and make sure you be vocal around people with your age group when they on that bullshit. All right.
For sure. I'm from Richmond, California, so I'm from the Bay. So it's like a lot of people from like East Coast, like there's a lot of stuff they steal from like Cali, but but I get what you're saying, OG. I get what you're saying. I do need to keep on telling my generation after me about the history.
And
Black
also,
Americans, we created a lot.
Also, stand up for Richmond. Stand up for Oakland. Stand up for Richmond because remember, Too Short had the Bay on hip hop in the early '80s. I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
And these New Yorkers want to act like that shit didn't exist.
Oh, yes, it's sad, but I need to like educate them. Like, you know, Too Short was the real deal. You know, Too Short, E40.
Yeah.
You know, those are the OGs of the Bay Area. You know, you have to respect them, man. They're the ones that help just California, basically. Everything. Get up the flavor and everything. Like, and I'm gonna let you go, but I just want to say this quick. If it wasn't like, if Black Americans like just had their own thing, what would America be?
America, if we didn't share it with everyone else, America wouldn't be shit.
America wouldn't be shit.
Matter of fact,
let
me go a little deeper for that real quick before you get off the phone.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
America's number one export, goes back to number one and number two, is its culture, is its music. America no longer makes steel. America no longer creates things and produces it. They've outsourced that stuff to China and other parts of the world. The thing that America continues to create and produce and sell to the world is the thoughts and the genius of Black Americans. The Black American style, the fashion, and Black American music. And music is the number two export in America. So when Fat Joe started that documentary saying hip hop is the resource, he's right. But what is hip hop? Hip hop is Black culture, is Black music. The thing that they sell to the rest of the world that makes this economy a super economy is the music.
Yes, sir.
And if you read a book by Paul Starr called The Creation of the Media, they'll talk about how for the last 150 years, America has used its music to sell its propaganda to the world. So America wouldn't be America without the soundtrack of Black America. All right?
Facts. All right.
Have a good one, brother.
Stay healthy. You have a good one.
Yeah. Cat's got to remember that. America wouldn't be America without the soundtrack of Black America. And that's just a fact. People can dislike it. People can get mad. But that ain't my problem. There's a book. 2 books. There's a book called Racial Innocence: Unmasking Latino Anti-Black Bias and the Struggle for Equality. I've talked about this book before because I like to give you guys further information to go deeper into what we're talking about because I respect you. And if you want to know more, I want to give you more. You dig? And 1 second, caller. Here's a book right here. Here's a book cover, y'all. Racial Innocence: Unmasking Latino Anti-Black Bias and the Struggle for Equality. This book talks about the anti-blackness within Latin America and is written by a Latino. So if you want to go further into the mindset that goes into people like Fat Joe colonizing our culture, I recommend you read this book so you understand the culture of people like Fat Joe trying to take our shit. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, how you doing, brother? My name is Brandon, calling from Mississippi.
Brandon from Mississippi. What's on your mind?
I don't know y'all covered this or not. I kind of tuned in at the end of it. And by the way, I like what you're talking about, by the way. And me being from Mississippi, man, it go a little bit deeper. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, it started way back with the slave hymns.
Yeah.
It started way back on the plantation.
And that's something that if you you must have gotten in later, because if you look on the screen, I talked about that in my Black American music family tree that I created. My whole documentary is based off this tree, taking our music back to the 1600s. And
right,
showing,
like I said, I'm just tuning in and everything. Like I'm just tuning in and everything. Like at the end of it and stuff. But yeah, for the most part, yeah. To me, everything started on that plantation, man.
If that was partially, it started with the plantation and also the free blacks that were free at the time too. A story that is very rarely, if almost never, talked about.
Right.
But yeah, man, thanks for giving us a call, brother.
All right.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it goes back to that plantation, the free blacks, the ones who were identified with Indian as a time and reclassified as black over the last 200 years. This is our music. This is our music. Hey, y'all, if y'all feeling what I'm saying, if you're feeling what I'm saying, hit me on the Cash App, $ Dewan Brown. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, yo. Hey, yo, Dewan, what's up? It's Mark. I'm calling from Fairview Heights, Illinois.
Yes, sir, Malcolm. What's on your mind, brother?
About that stuff, it's the last caller. He's from the Mississippi area. It's funny that he talked about that too, because it also comes to Biggie Smalls. It was a man from, I think, like Gulfport, Mississippi, where he got his whole identity from.
I heard about that. I don't like to push that, only because from what I hear, Puffy knew who that was, but Biggie didn't. And you kind of hear Biggie rapping like that before too. Sometimes two people can have similar styles, you know? It's close enough, but here's what I do take from that. It still shows how deep that's ingrained in our culture, because there's no one sounding like Biggie that was born and raised in Kingston, Jamaica. There's no one sounding like Biggie that was born in Puerto Rico. There's no one sounding like Biggie. The only person that sounds like Biggie is a person that was born here. To me, that just gives proof that that's just because it's our culture. And sometimes it's going to come over here, sometimes it's going to go over there, but it's still our culture.
And plus, not only that, it comes to Melly Mel. He also says, he also talked, he talked against it. He was like the only one I heard from New York that said something about it. It was him and Grandmaster Cash too, but it comes to Cash, he kind of backpedaled a little bit.
He did.
Yeah.
He did backpedal. So, that's the thing. And that's why black men don't get the respect that we deserve. Well, I won't even say we deserve. We get the respect that we deserve. We get the respect that we deserve. And if the so-called gangster rappers, the men of the community, if the men back down every time people who mooching off your culture say something and you back down, we're gonna be perceived as weak.
That's the thing that confused me. It's the niggas who supposed to be hard, but they not saying shit.
Yeah, it's like I was told my whole life I'm a square. So why am I the ones that's sitting up to these suckers and y'all not? I was a square my whole life. I never was a gangster.
Bro, facts, man. Facts, bro. It's just crazy to me. Bro, quiet as fuck. It's just weird to me that that's happening. And it's this dumbass thing that's coming out about that, it's that, oh man, I'm sorry about that. I got a little tongue-tied. It's that shit you talked about with that new documentary that came out. It's so much facts that show that, it's all the callers said it too. It's so much shit that shows you that it's inaccurate. It is laughable at this point. But yeah, bro.
Right.
That's all I wanted to say too, brother.
Yes, sir.
Give me the chance to. All right.
I mean, you have a good one. Yeah, so that's what it is. Hip-hop is just black American culture. And it had a time in New York to where it put some things that they had in New York between 71 and 77. That was a time. That time moved on from. Let's go back to Element. What is an element? Let me do some shit real quick. See, one thing about the hip hop generation is proof that niggas really didn't pay attention in school. A lot of people did not pay attention of an element. An element is call right back. Call back in about 2 minutes. An element is something that if you remove, I'll just answer it. All right, call. I'll answer. I'll get to you when I'm done with making this point. An element is something that if you remove that thing from it, it's no longer that thing. In science and chemistry, Water, the element of water is 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen. If I remove 1 part of the hydrogen, it's no longer water, it's something else. Carbon, everything, the element, when you change any ingredient or component of an element, it changes the fundamental structure of that thing. So if you're going to call b-boying an element of hip hop, okay, let's go with it. So if I go to a concert, if I don't b-boy, am I still listening to hip hop? What if I decide to crip walk? Is it not hip hop because I'm crip walking instead of b-boying? Is it not hip hop because instead of b-boying, I'm doing the Penn State? Shouts out to LA niggas around the early 90s. Is it not hip hop? Speakers, you notice in this documentary that they just had with the Puerto Ricans did not mention the sound system. If you go back and watch that documentary I just showed you, I can't go back, it's only 30 minutes. Go back and watch it. They did not mention the sound system as a key component in this Puerto Rican documentary. But let's just say the sound system is. If you're listening to hip hop, rap music on your phone with no sound system, is it no longer hip hop because you listen to it in your phone? Do you need a big speaker system to listen to hip hop and dance to hip hop? No. So those things are not elements of hip hop. They're just a thing that people were doing at a particular party on a particular day that these people choose to acknowledge as a starting point according to their lives. That's all it was. You don't need a sound system for hip hop, and you don't need to b-boy for hip hop. Matter of fact, if you get into b-boying around me and you get your little Puerto Rican shag dancing and jumping around while you spinning on your goddamn head, you knock over my drink, I'm beating your ass. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, man, what's going on, man? It's your boy AK from Chicago.
AK from Chicago. What's on your mind, brother?
A lot, man. You know, this hip hop thing has been sort of like driving me crazy because it's sort of like insane that these Jamaicans and these Puerto Ricans are claiming this, and they're in a state of identity abandonment. They're walking around cosplaying as Black Americans because they come from Jamaica. They come from Puerto Rico, so they sound a certain way. They talk a certain way. They have a certain swag about their own culture when they came here. And then they jump into our culture and try to steal from it. It's kind of crazy. It's sort of laughable when we can go through and we have all the receipts that we need because we have all 5 elements. We have the breakdance. We have the spray paint. We have the rap music. Like Pygmy Markham, Here Comes the Judge was like, there's no Jamaican, there's no Puerto Rican that sounds like that. And I think one of the mistakes that we make is actually we never start the conversation off correctly, which is grounding the conversation in identity, right? Because when Kool Herc, see, they talk about this toasting stuff, but Kool Herc back in 1984 in a book said that hip hop had nothing to do with toasting. So these dudes are lying. And even when you look at the Toasty was a ripoff of Job Talk, according to Clemente Dodd and Count Machuki. So you guys come here and you appropriate our culture, and this is why I'm much more offended by Busta Rhymes than I am Fat Joe. Fat Joe just running his mouth. But if you ever seen the documentary, the BBC documentary, The Making of Jamaican Music, they will tell you they pretty much built their music from ours. They just Jamaicanized. They just found their own sound. And for Busta Rhymes to come over here and contradict his elders, that's a fucking shame. And that's when I know I was like, this dude don't like us.
You know what?
This dude really don't like us.
I want to hit on the point you just made. He didn't. What you see is he doesn't have respect for his own culture. Your ancestors created something for you, and your ancestors had the respect to tell you where they got it from. And you did not take the time to look up your own ancestors of a music, of a culture that you say you're proud of. If you're proud of your culture, don't you take time to learn more about it? And then after you take time to learn more about it, you appreciate it because you thank it for giving you what you have. Isn't that what you do when you appreciate your culture? You learn more about it and you teach it accurately and respectfully from the point of view of those who taught you the game. Is that not what you do when you respect yourself? So if you totally going to disrespect your ancestors, your elders, to come stand on my shit, that means you don't. Not only do you not respect what you have, you don't even like it because you left what you have to come over here.
Yeah. And you know what? Like that tree that you have, it's like everything that you said, because what it comes down to is that tree that you have, it reflects cultural breadcrumbs. These Puerto Ricans need to do these Jamaicans respect cultural breadcrumbs. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? It's just like nothing leads back to Jamaica. Nothing leads back to Puerto Rico. Even the way that we rap, we were talking that way on a. If you ever look at Mel Watkins' history on Black American, things how Black people, metaphorical wordplay, rhymes, witty lines, double entendres, all the stuff that goes into synthesizing a rap, we were already doing. And
this is how we talk.
Like Muhammad Ali. Yeah, it's just how we talk.
We talk in a figurative way.
Exactly. We talk that way. We've been talking that way since the plantation, and I don't think that they really get that you're cosplaying a Black American. You're not doing anything that a Puerto Rican or Jamaican is doing. You know, I don't think they understand that they would actually need to push hip hop would have needed to be pushed to a Jamaican lands where we're using patois instead of AAD, instead of Ebonics. That would have made more sense for them to claim it then. But you cannot use a Black American lens 100% of the breakdancing, 1% of the rapper, 1% of the slang, 100% of the breakbeats, 1% of the breadcrumbs. Like, this shit is like, it's a joke. And what it really shows me is how desperate and how flattering it is on how these people really want to be us. But I'm going to land my plane right there. I really appreciate you and everything that you're doing. I'm definitely going to support and buy something, though, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, man. You have a good one.
Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.
What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
I'm Mickey. I'm calling from Brooklyn.
Mickey from Brooklyn. What's on your mind?
I just want to say, man, I'm an American-born of Cuban and Ecuadorian descent. And I want to say you're 100% right. Hip-hop originated as a Black American FBA thing. I live in New York. I've lived in New York almost 20 years. And it's wild, like, you know, they try to claim things that their parents hated. You know, like the original rhythms of hip-hop are not the 2-3 clave. You know, the original, it's not sampled from like mambo songs or, well, it's Puerto Rican, so it's not sampled from like bomba songs or plena songs, you know? So to me, it's just like, I get into arguments here in New York and in Miami with other Latin friends that came up in hip hop, you know, like that hip hop DJs. I'm a DJ in New York, but I don't play hip hop. I play other Black music and Latin music and African music. But the arguments I get when I try to tell them these examples, they just refuse to accept it. And to me, it's like, you know, that cat in that doc that you showed a little earlier that was talking about how he saw Wild Style, and that was like, that's for us. It's like, how you see Wild Style if this is a part of your history, you know?
Right.
Like, that, if hip hop is you, how are you seeing a movie and that's like, oh yeah, this is me, you know?
Right.
And so they catch themselves in these lies.
And that's the thing, you know, like for me and my family, I don't have to look at the movie. I saw my family do this at family reunions and parties, like just Friday night playing spades or walking down the street. This is what it was. And I think that is interesting that, you know, you're from Cuba, because I just put this tweet up this past Saturday. I was at LACMA listening to Cuban music, to Cuban Afro-Cuban sounds. And I'm on the screen, I have this tweet that I put up. The island of Cuba has a strong, proud music lineage. So strong they don't claim our shit. Cuba is secure within itself musically, as they should be. I noticed Cubans tend to, when it comes to out of all the islands, Cubans tend to stick to what Cuba did, but because Cuba's done some dope ass shit, and I tend not to see Cubans trying to jump over to this fence as much as I see people from Puerto Rico and Haiti and other islands.
Absolutely. I mean, the first Cubans that came to Harlem to play and heard these black cats playing jazz, it changed the way they played Cuban music in Cuba, And when they saw how you guys were so proud of your Africanness, they were like, all right, now we're Afro-Cuban. So they play respect to Black Americans all day and night. And I don't know if you know this, but there's this kind of little battle going on where Puerto Ricans are trying to claim that they created salsa, but the original rhythms of salsa are not Puerto Rican. And it's a thing where Cubans always try to acknowledge, hey, we love what Puerto Ricans did in, the 70s with salsa, but, not to change the subject, but there's this thing going on where I feel like Puerto Ricans trying to kind of sometimes claim things that they didn't kind of originate. I don't want to throw all of them under the bus, but it's just weird to me that kind of happens.
You made a good point. You're not changing the subject because in my documentary, I'm pointing out how the first salsa song was Mantanka by Dizzy Gillespie. Salsa is the fusion of merengue up in New York, the Afro-Cubans coming down to the bebop clubs and listening to Dizzy. That's where you get salsa, Latin jazz, and that's also where you get bossa nova. So, and salsa, the original salsa musicians talks about how they were coming down to the bebop clubs, and it was they would just say Latin, but mostly it was Cubans, not Latin. The richest music in the Caribbean comes out of Cuba, and it's not close. I'm
biased, but I agree, and I agree with you in that respect.
Man, but I appreciate that your input, man. Thanks for calling.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you and what you do.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. See, I had just made that tweet because I noticed. I pay attention. I don't throw all groups of people under the bus. Hell, I don't throw all people within a group under a bus. I'm not saying all Puerto Ricans are like this. I'm not saying all Jamaicans are like Buster. I know nuance. I understand nuance. But I'm speaking up because they're speaking against my culture. So it's my cultural duty to speak up. And if people from that culture aren't going to speak up as loudly, and I'm not saying some aren't, because there are people from that culture speaking up, but if there are no other Puerto Ricans with a microphone as big as Fat Joe denouncing Fat Joe, there are no Jamaicans with a microphone as big as Busta Rhymes denouncing Busta Rhymes. I say what I said about Cuba because Cuba has an extremely rich history. Cuba still acknowledges what they learned from Black Americans. Celia Cruz, when she talked, she openly talked about being inspired by Aretha Franklin and Bessie Smith, Ma Rainey, before them. Chucho Valdez. Chucho is somebody that talks openly about the Black American influence. Chucho a stylish motherfucker too. So I have you notice Cuba has the strongest music tradition of the Caribbean, and they ain't trying to claim our shit. And we'll be happy when the Jamaicans and Puerto Ricans, by and large, do the same. Because before I close this out, I hear people saying, I don't want to be divisive. This is divisive. No. Divisiveness is stepping on my shoes and telling me, oh, well, you clean it up. That's divisive. Divisive is, I invited you to my house. I invited you to my party. Now you telling the world that you own my house. That's divisive. Me saying I own the house that I invited you into isn't divisive. If I invite you in here, and now you're saying you own it, and I'm saying no, you don't own it. I own it. That's not divisiveness. Divisiveness is saying you own the house that I invited you into. That's division. That's division. Me standing up for myself is me standing up for myself and doing my best to leave a cultural legacy for the next generation. All right. Thank y'all again. Somebody said Puerto Ricans invented the remix. No, the fuck they didn't. James Brown used to remix his own songs. The hell you talking about? Motown used to remix. Let's stop that. Let's stop that. Let's stop that. Now, reggaeton is just Latin disco. Reggaeton doesn't come until after disco, just like Afro beats. That's their version of. Disco is. Dance music is. The Latin version, which is reggaeton, is. The Jamaican version is. You get it? Let me say that one more time. The American version of disco is 4 on the floor. Which evolved into house music, which they removed the up hi-hat and just put. We play on the downbeat. When the Caribbean reinterprets our music, they play our music on the upbeat. So the Latins go do 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 do, and the Jamaicans go do do ta do do ta do do. Get it? But it's all built on the drum set. If they're using a drum set, they're playing our music because they didn't invent it. You dig? What I need y'all to do is y'all need to go to DewanB.com. Go to DewanB.com. Hit shop. Get your Black American Music Family Tree. Get It's Bigger Than Hip Hop, the Black American Music Family Tree t-shirt. Limited edition, 1865. Black people don't owe anybody anything but an ass whooping. And more at DewanB.com. Get your card readings. And also for y'all, I will be, for those of you who missed my card class, I will be doing an extended version, a 3-month-long class for card reading. If you want to learn how to read cards, I will be doing a 3-month. Email me if you're interested in joining the 3-month class on reading cards. The prices are definitely affordable. So email me if you want that, all right? And again, remember, like what I always say, there are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. This nigga Kurt Owens said reggaeton sucks. Y'all stupid, Kurt. D1 Gray, what's up, y'all? Toby, Quan, Brandon Terry, Shani Blake. Thank y'all for listening. All right. My name is Dewan. We out.